going to take a change. But I'm changing for the greater. Okay? Oftentimes, we have to do certain things in order to see the revelation of a greater change. You may have to change some co-workers. You may have to change some people that you talk to. You may have to change some family members. You may have to change who you associate with so you can experience your greater. A greater change. I'm changing because, God, I'm wanting better. I'm changing because I need to do better. I need more. It's a greater change that I'm looking for, God. And so, God, I desire to do this because I see greater. Do y'all see it though? Do you see a greater? Do you see a better? And God, I know it's going to take work for me to get there, but at the same time, within me doing that work, I have to understand that the greater is for me. It's for me. It's for you. And so we have to walk in an area or walk in a space where God can minister to us in a great way. And that's going to take a total change. So God can speak to us in a greater way. A greater way. Today we're going to deal with a position, though, our position. We're going to deal with 3 areas of position. Because we should desire a greater change. And one of the greatness of change is us changing our position and then understanding our position. Because you guys, we're in a great position. But you got to understand your position. You have to understand that. And so we're going to deal with 3 areas. We're going to deal with our position. Then we're going to deal with a pushed position. And then a believing position. I may be able to go through all these. I may be. I'm not for sure. I'm not going to rush through it though. Because God is leading me in another area after this is done. So we're going to deal with our position though. And that's in 1 Peter 2 and 9. Deal with our position. 1 Peter 2 and 9. I'm going to read it from the New Living Translation. It reads like this. It says, "But you are not like that. You are not like that. For you are a chosen people. You are royal priest, a holy nation, God's very own possession." I need you to get all of this. "As a result, you can show others the goodness of God, for he called you out of darkness into his marvelous light." He's speaking about you. And look at the way that God is speaking about you. Royal. Holy. He says, you have the desire, you have the wherewithal, you have the gift to do good, because he says, I pulled you out of darkness into the marvelous light. And so you have to understand that you have greatness in you. Why? Because God has just showed us that. If you've ever doubted yourself, I need you to mark this scripture down. I don't want you to lose this. You take this home, you mark it, whatever the case may be. When you start to doubt yourself, you got to go to this, because God is specifically talking to you. He's saying this is who you are. That's why you can't settle for everything. That's why you shouldn't take any and everything from everybody, because this is how God looks at you, and God is not playing. God is not playing with us when he says, man, you are a chosen person. And so look at point number 1. Point number 1 is God picked and he wants you. That's what chosen means. God picked and he wants you. That's what we can't afford to forget right there. When it gets a little rocky, when it gets a little rough, and you start to look at yourself in the way that God does, you got to go back to this thing and say, you know what, God, you picked me. God, you did. Not man, not your family, not your mother, not your father, not your job. God, you picked me. And you counted me royal. You said that I'm special. And so therefore, if you're going through hell and high water, you are a special individual that's going through hell right now. It doesn't change how God looks at you just because it's rough. It doesn't change how God looks at you just because it's tough. God's still looking at you as a royal woman of God, a royal man of God, and it doesn't matter what people are saying, God looks at you this way. And so 1 Peter 2 and 9 should stick. You need to put that in your purse, put that in your pocket. Dock that on your phone, because you're going to go through hell, and oftentimes the hell tries to manipulate you to have you think that you're less than, but the scripture doesn't change. God doesn't lie. God looks at you as a unique individual, and he's getting ready to do some unique things through you. I know you don't look at yourself in that way, but you must. That God is going to use you to do some unique things because of a greater change. Because of a greater change. God handpicked you. God went through hell and high water. God took a male and a female and went through all of that and produced you. You have been handpicked. It doesn't matter if you are Hispanic. It doesn't matter if you are African American. It doesn't matter if you're Russian, Chinese, or whatever the case may be. God picked you. And he has used you in a unique way. They speak Jesus in Spanish. They call him Jesus, don't they? They know how to say Jesus in Russia. They know how to say Jesus in China. They know how to say Jesus in Ebonics. It doesn't matter where you come from. God specifically handpicked you.
Yes.